As I was browsing and reading about books and new books and old books, I came across this author called Colleen Oakley. And I was so surprised because why did I not come across her? I went down this rabbit hole of her books and I was so delighted by what I read. Colleen Oakley has written 6 novels so far, and I want to talk to you about 3 of them because I found the characters so quirky and the plot so interesting. I have not read any of these books, so I'm just telling you what I read about the books and what I feel about the opinions about the books. So let me start by Close Enough to Touch, which is one of her earlier books. And this features Jubilee Jenkins, a protagonist who has a rare medical condition. She cannot tolerate foreign human cell connections. Basically, she's allergic to human touch. So, Jubilee Jenkins cannot touch anybody. Imagine the life of such a person. And at the age of 17, she goes through a very traumatic experience which lands her in the hospital. And after that, she goes into total isolation. But 9 years later, she decides that she wants to come out into this world and live. So she sets out to get a job, and she gets a job as a librarian. And with gloves, she starts her job. Now we have Eric Keegan, a father of 2 young children, recently divorced and who has newly moved into town. He has a lot of issues going on with his wife and with his children. His 14-year-old daughter refuses to speak to him. She's with her mother. His 10-year-old son has got issues of his own, and the son is with Eric. And all these people love to read, and that is where they converge in the library. So, what happens in the lives of these 3 people who are facing issues of different kinds? So that is what is being talked about in Close Enough to Touch, which I found very interesting. So that is book number 1. And now we come to the second book, which is The Invisible Husband of Frick Island. The main protagonist is Piper Parrish. She lives on Frick Island. She leads a lovely life, and she cooks for her husband. She walks him down to the docks. She has conversations with him. She goes out with him. The only problem is that her husband has been dead for some years. She just cannot accept it. And what happens is the townsfolk, they love her so much that they do not want to shatter her illusions and they play along. So life is going along these lines for Piper when a young, ambitious journalist, Anders, lands up in town. He is researching some other story which he's not at all interested in, and then he finds Piper. And he's fascinated and he smells her story and he wants to bring it out and he wants to bring Piper's story out into the world. So, what happens? Does he actually do it? And if he does, how does it affect the people around him? How does it affect Piper? And most importantly, how does it affect his own life? So, that is the story of The Invisible Husband of Frick Island. Now we come to the third book, which is the mostly true story of Tanner and Louise. Tanner is a 21-year-old girl who has made a lot of terrible decisions in her life, due to which she's at a juncture where her parents have told her to go out and get a job. Tanner wants a job where she can sit around in her sweatpants and play video games. That's all that she wants to do. She does not want any responsibilities. Louise is 84-year-old and fiercely independent. She has been living by herself and she loves her routine and she has her own way of doing things. Unfortunately, she has a fall one day, and after recovery, her daughter insists that if Louise wants to stay by herself, she has to have a full time caregiver. And that is how Tanner enters Louise's life. Both of them hate each other. They do not like each other, and so they work out a routine in which they hardly come into contact with each other. So life is going on this way when one night, suddenly, Louise enters Tanner's room and says that she has to be driven to California. And there is the sound of approaching police sirens. Tanner has no clue what's happening, and Louise offers her more money. And Tanner decides to drive Louise to California. So these 2 wonderful, quirky characters are on a road trip together. Apparently, it's quite witty and it also has a lot of emotional scenes. So, The Mostly True Story of Tanner and Louise is the book that I'm most looking forward to reading. I hope I get to read it. I hope I get to read all three, which I'm not sure, but at least I want to read this one. I think you guys should also go and read one of her books, Colleen Oakley, an author who I discovered just yesterday. So, guys, go and read. Until we meet again for the next video, you guys stay safe, take care. Bye bye.